what's our Arctic Ocean dinner?
Chili.
Chili? There's nothing better. Let's think about this a second. There's nothing better than having chili on the Arctic Ocean. I mean, it's very fitting, right?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Chili.
Well, we tried some of the smoked fish. How'd you like the smoked fish?
I thought it was fine.
Yeah? I'm not a fish eater though. People who like fish probably like it. I needed some tartar sauce and maybe some salt, maybe some hot sauce, maybe some bacon, wrapped it in bacon a little bit. But if you like smoked fish, hey, it might be the best thing you've ever had. Just not my forte. Tuk is pretty cool. I mean, we're at the top of the world here basically. Everyone's really friendly, genuinely interested in where we've been coming from and what we're doing, and so it's been really cool to have that experience. We've only talked to a few of the locals, but seem pretty welcoming, which is surprising because I'm sure the world's turned upside down with all the influx of people that have started making their way to Tuk. There was actually like a news crew here that was interviewing some of the townspeople and stuff, so I'm sure it's a whole new experience for them, but generally, I mean, they seem to be welcoming it with open arms, so that's exciting to see. It's exciting to see new changes not disrupting their life. So we're gonna have some chili here on the Arctic Ocean and camp here one night, and then I think we got bad weather moving back in again, so we're probably gonna start making our way south. Hopefully we won't have any more mudslides on the Dempster and we can make our way on over to Alaska, but if not, it's just more time to explore this area. So I love it up here. This is cool. This is really cool.
That's good.
Well, good morning. This is probably some of our favorite weather. Windy and cold, with a slight chance of rain.
Well, a high chance actually. I'm surprised it's not like pouring buckets right now.
Yeah, it's probably going to rain today. Oh, and we're at the Arctic Ocean, by the way. Pulled into Tuk yesterday, and wow, this place is really, really cool. I am so stoked to be here. We had a beautiful day, a beautiful drive.
Yeah.
And then the wind kicked up and
but it did eventually die down later.
It did. And then the bugs came out.
Yeah.
Pretty insane amount of bugs. But we've gotten pretty good at dealing with those, and
yeah,
the little pop-up screen worked well, and then the face nets and all the bug spray and stuff that we have. So I feel pretty confident at our bug control at this stage of the game. But got to meet a really cool couple from Seattle, Washington. They had a couple kids. Caroline got to play with them for a bit. Just really, really cool people. It's been a great experience here in Tuk so far. We really want to go on a tour. We talked to John, who is a native here, and he does 2-hour tours just to kind of immerse you into the neighborhood and the people and the culture. So I don't know if we really want to do it today with the weather the way it is, but maybe we'll get up in the morning and do one tomorrow, because it's supposed to be a beautiful day. I think it's 0% chance of rain and sunshine tomorrow.
So far.
So rather than cook breakfast, or actually lunch at this stage of the game, because our hours are completely screwed up. If if you're coming up here to the Arctic, be prepared for your biological clock to just go haywire.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help when your campmates have no sense of quiet hours.
Yeah, like I'm like, if they were in a real actual traditional campground, what are they like?
Oh, I know. It was pretty bad. They were right next to us and up till like 3 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So on top of the fact that the sun wasn't down and the wind was howling, not much sleep last night. So we kind of laid in bed a bit, and then we had the rain fly off to mitigate the sound, and then here were pitter patter, so we scrambled this morning and put the rain fly back on.
Luckily it's not hard.
And that sealed the deal. There's going to be no rain today because we actually went to that evolution.
We put it back on.
Yeah. So a little bit miserable this morning, but I tell you what, we are at the Arctic Ocean. The Arctic Ocean.
I know.
So no complaints. No complaints.
Just give me some coffee and I'll
We're gonna go try and find
rally.
some coffee, maybe some food. So that's our update. Let's go find some food.
Let's do it. Now's not the time to film me.
Don't you just love this weather? There you go. So we went into town to try and get some breakfast, but really the only place that we could find doesn't open until about 5 p.m. but it's open until midnight. So for dinner we could stop there. So we came back to camp and dug out the old faithful Jetboil just so we can get some coffee done really quickly. The percolator makes incredible coffee, but it takes about 15 to 20 minutes to get it done right. So we'll get this taken care of.
I'm still back here grinding away.
The daily grind. Mama Bear's not too happy about the weather, but we've had incredible weather this whole trip. This is really the first, what I would classify as a windy, nasty day. We've had a couple of rainy days, but this one's cold. Let's get some breakfast in us. I think we're just gonna crawl in the tent and have a lazy day, maybe watch some movies and see if the weather improves. So, but we're at the Arctic Ocean. I mean, come on. Right?
Right.
Wow. Wow. Look at that. It's crazy. It's just crazy.
All the way.
Still brewing just a little bit.
Oh, you got it. Okay.
Well, that went from nasty to nastier.
Yeah.
It's raining now. This is fun. This is adventure right here. Yeah.
Painful.
So what's for breakfast? Look at that. These are such good breakfast sandwiches. What's all on it, Mama?
Salami, cheddar cheese, and eggs.
We're all about salami now.
Yeah, we really are.
Like, it's
Like,
the perfect...
forget bacon.
Well, it's the perfect meat because it's not quite a pepperoni, but it's
Yeah.
almost bacon. And when you
Right.
fry it up, you get that salty fattiness.
Yeah.
It travels well, and it doesn't attract the bears as much.
We hope.
Like we
We're
would.
under the assumption.
Like we
that
would
they're-
know. We tested that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we cooked. Yeah. It's nice and warm in here.
It's nice and warm in here.
But you know what? It's 48 outside. It's not like it's freezing. It's just that wind is howling. The rains are coming down. It's just a nasty day. Just a nasty day.
Welcome to Tuktoyaktuk. I'm John. I'll be your tour guide for the next 2 hours. You know, Tuktoyaktuk, that's the English pronunciation of our community. And how we pronounce it is Tuktoyaktuk. What that means is resembling a caribou. And how the legend goes of how we got our name is that a hunting party was coming here and they met an elderly lady right in the middle of nowhere, and they told her, when we get there, meaning here, don't look at the caribou. But when they got here, She peeked through her hands like that and looked. And when she did that, she turned the caribou into stone. So nowadays, at this part of the town, when the tides are low, you'll see rocks sticking out of the harbor from over here, which resemble a caribou, which means Tuktoyaktuk. So welcome.
Thank you.
We use Wolverine because it treads water.
Okay.
You know, it doesn't soak it up when it gets wet. It just drips off.
The next day, we got a bit of sunshine and joined the town tour of Tuktoyaktuk. Our guide, John, was extremely welcoming and shared a wealth of knowledge about life here in the Arctic. What was once a small village on the edge of the world, only accessible by boat, plane, or ice road, is now open to visitors year-round with the completion of the road that once ended at Inuvik 92 miles away. Now, travelers from all over the world in rigs of all shapes and sizes, ranging in cost from millions of dollars to hundreds of dollars, make their way north to touch the Arctic. While simply reaching this point is a significant milestone for us, it was our goal to go beyond snapping a picture in front of the Arctic Ocean sign. We wanted to immerse ourselves into the community and culture to see firsthand what it's like to live here in Tuk. The area around Tuktoyaktuk has been used for centuries by the native Inuvialuit people to harvest caribou and beluga whales. In the early 1900s, many of the natives inhabiting the land were wiped out due to a flu epidemic brought in by American whalers. In the following years, more people came to the area, including the Dean people as well as inhabitants from Herschel Island. In 1928, the Hudson Bay Company established a trading post here, further solidifying the growing community.
It's so common around here to this area. If you build it in a place like this.
So what's your name?
Caroline.
Elaine?
Caroline.
Caroline. Sweet Caroline, eh? You ever hear that song, Caroline? Sweet Caroline?
What's the place for the fire?
Right over here.
Can you explain what the slant is right there?
That's the original.
In 1937, a Roman Catholic mission was built, and by 1950, an Anglican mission joined the shoreline along with a new Royal Canadian Mounted Police detachment as the community grew. In the 70s and 80s, more outsiders arrived with the gas and oil exploration efforts in response to the 1973 oil embargo and 1979 shortages. During this time, the Canadian government sought to establish their own sovereignty over the Arctic territory reserves, much like the U.S. did with Prudhoe Bay and the Alaskan Pipeline. Steps were put into play to develop a pipeline alongside the Dempster Highway, but land disputes, economic, and environmental concerns delayed the process for nearly 50 years from the date of the initial proposal. In 2017, with the plummeting fuel prices worldwide, it was finally determined that the project would no longer be profitable and efforts were halted. Today, the hamlet of Tuktoyaktuk, with a population of just over 1,000 people, mostly continue to live off the land by hunting and fishing. For now, this community lives in continued simplicity, with only shadows of commercialization attempts found in its outskirts in the form of abandoned oil-filled man camps. With the completion of the Dempster Highway, the gates of the Arctic Ocean have been opened to curious travelers like ourselves. Unlike most newfound tourist attractions, this community has welcomed travelers with open arms to come and see what life is like. Our tour guide, John, was just one example of the hospitality shown to us during our stay, and invited us to his home to try some traditional food that was the mainstay of their winter sustenance.
So this here is the whitefish that the people smoke here in the community, our people. It's smoked, it's caught in the harbor, and then it's hung and smoked for a couple of days and dried. You can actually try some if you want. Yeah. So don't eat the skin, you just peel the fish off by itself. Yeah. Yeah. Just like how she's doing it. Yeah.
No, it's just fish.
What's the fish called?
It's a whitefish. Yeah.
No?
Yes. This here is the beluga whale. The white part is actually the skin of the whale.
Okay.
It has another layer of skin like the human skin that we peel off when we cook it. And the yellow part is the blubber. And the blubber comes out to about 6 to 8 to 10 inches, sometimes a little bit more, and it's cut off to desired amounts. And below all that is the meat,
Okay.
the whale meat, which I don't have any of here. It's so full of nutrients and energy. So please try some. And you'd be surprised, I think. I know it's important.
Ready? It's good. It's chewy.
Mama.
Wow. Really good.
It is really
good.
good. It's loaded with nutrients.
And it's not like fishy at all.
Not at all. No.
You want to try some?
Pleasantly surprised. Quite sweet, and it's
like jerky.
eaten in various stages. It could be eaten when it's a lot stronger. The others like to let the
What?
age.
Now, what's some of the art you have up here? What's this made out of?
These there's 6 or 7 or 8 local artists that they're artists here, and they're for sale. And there's some really amazing stuff here.
Can you see the walrus thing right there?
What are the curved pieces?
These are muskox horn.
Oh.
A lot of stuff is caribou antlers and soapstone.
on the porch then.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
After completing our tour of the town and surrounding pingos, or ice hills, I was invited to join Kelly, one of the local fishermen, and help him set his nets for the evening. You might recognize the other volunteer fisherman as none other than Stuart, or Stewie as we now know him, the driver of the recovered truck we rescued alongside the Dempster. Needless to say, we were giddy at the chance to see more of this lifestyle from a first-hand perspectives, and mosquitoes soon began to stick in our permagrins as we rode along with our new friend Kelly.
They catch him real close into shore even.
do you?
Yeah. Didn't take long.
No.
Get some wind going here. After setting Kelly's nets, he took us to a relative setup to show us some of the types of fish they catch along this river. Jackfish, broadmouth, coney, flounder, and others make their way along these shorelines and are entrapped by the gill nets set by these native people.
Jackfish.
Families work hard through the summer months to ensure they have enough food to last them through the long, brutal winters, so they can return again once the sun melts the thick ice to continue the cycle. It was truly an eye-opening experience to see what is required to ensure life continues in this beautiful yet unforgiving environment. It's incredible how these resilient people have learned not only to survive, but thrive in the Arctic. Tuktoyaktuk, a community of 1,000 souls on the edge of the world. Centuries of adapting and overcoming incredible odds have molded this group of people into hardy and strong individuals that few people will ever have the chance to meet. Through it all, in spite of the dangers, these people have formed a sort of harmony with the elements that is beautiful to observe. And surprisingly, all this strength and determination has not left them embittered or resentful, but friendly and welcoming to complete strangers. To us, Tuk is so much more than a map dot. It is a place where you can look back in time at a far simpler way of life. While it was time for us to move on, a part of our hearts will always be here with these people. Thank you, people of Tuktoyaktuk, for welcoming us into your community. We hope to see you again someday. But before we leave, there is one last thing that has to be done.